Hello, everybody, and welcome to the presentation for our new app, Catcare. So before we get started, I'll just introduce you to the team. I'm Jacob, and I was a project manager for this project. Then we have Alex and Harry, who worked on the front end, and Lais and Roberta, who focused on the back end. So our mission for this app was to create a website for the worried cat owners out there, taking inspiration from websites like WebMD and using an algorithm based on the Akinator game and our very own qualified vet, Lais. So Lais made us aware that other kinds of websites like these are quite rudimentary. So we decided to create an app with many features, which includes a symptom checker, the ability to book and host a video call with a vet, as well as find vets in the local area. We expect that this will not only reduce stress for the passionate pet parents out there, but also reduce strain on overpopulated vet practices, which led us to create Catcare. So after we decided on this idea, it was time to plan how we would execute the project. We researched similar platforms for inspiration and then decided what features we would like to include for our final product. So in order to work together seamlessly, we used a Trello board to enable effective collaboration. It was very important to keep on top of this, as we did not want to waste any time on this project due to the intense deadline, and ensure that we were working in an agile manner. So after this, the next step was to create a stakeholder analysis to determine who we are really creating this app for, as well as any restrictions that we may face. So we deemed that vets and owners were the most important, as well as government health agencies, as we had to make sure that everything was done ethically. I'll now pass over to Roberta, who will go over more of our initial work.
Thank you, Jacob. Hello, everyone. I'm Roberta, and I will explain how we combined technology and care to develop our app. First, let's talk about the foundation of our app, the Entity Relationship Diagram, or ERD. Think of it as the blueprint that guides how the information flows within the app. We've crafted a smart system with tables like users, pets, appointment, and diary. And these tables work together to ensure that you have all the tools at your fingertips to manage your pet's health and well-being. Moving on to the visual aspect, we've designed wireframes that represent different screens of our app. And these wireframes are like sketches that helped us visualize how the app would look like. With these wireframes, you can easily navigate through setting up your pet's profile, scheduling appointments, and writing down important notes about your furry friends, and creating a smooth and intuitive experience. Behind this user-friendly interface lies a powerful set of technologies. For our front-end development, we used JavaScript and React to provide you with an interactive and engaging platform for managing your pet's care. On the backend, we've used the versatility of Python and Flask that enabled us to handle data efficiently. And on top of that, the security and the reliability of our data, we used Elephant SQL. And for the magic that connects our app to the database, we relied on SQL Alchemy, which also simplified the interaction between our app and the database. Finally, HTML and CSS ensure that everything looks and feels just right. Now I'll hand it over to Harry, who will conduct the live demonstration of our app.
Thank you, Roberta, and hello, everyone. I will now show you our beautiful website. So we are all cat lovers today, whether you like it or not. And we've noticed that our beloved cat has been scratching a lot recently, and it seems very agitated, but we are unsure as to whether to go to the vet or not. So we boot up the Catcare website to have a look at what could be going on with our cat. Upon entering the website, we are met with a lovely landing page, giving us some information about the website with some links to log in and register. We can sign in using our own account or by using Google Sign In. Once signed in, we are greeted by the home page, which gives us some information about what different parts of the websites are for and provides links to those parts. For now, we just want to check our symptoms against the Catcare symptom checker to find what may be wrong with our cat. Before doing this though, we need to register our feline friend to give the database some basic information such as its sex and whether it is neutered. Once we have registered our cat here, Stan, and we can now select our cat and answer some questions about our cat symptoms, which I will skip over for the purposes of this demonstration. Once we finish with these questions, we are now provided with 3 possible diagnoses and a disclaimer that proper medical examination will always be more important. Luckily for us, Catcare can also make this easier for us. So on the profile page, we can see information on ourselves, the cats we have registered, with the option to update any cat information. And we can also book an appointment using the calendar. Now we have our appointment booked, we can head over to the video appointment page. We can see information about the appointment that we have created. We can copy the meeting ID that was generated for that appointment. Upon joining our meeting, we can chat to our vet live, who in this case is Alex, to get further information on our cat's diagnosis. Let's say that Alex asks us to go to our local vet in order for a proper skin test to be done, but we don't know where our local vets are. Luckily for us, Catcare makes that easy for us again. Thank you, Alex.
Bye.
So on the map page, we can view the vets in our surrounding area and click on them for more information and their Google rating. Our final page is the About page, which tells us a bit about the creators, the Catcare mission, and provides us with a gallery of cute cats. We also have our chatbot or catbot, which uses OpenAI to help diagnose our cat. I will now hand over to the lovely Alex, who is no longer a vet.
Thanks for that, Harry. I will now run through some significant code that we wrote. We decided to implement AI into our product via a self-written chatbot, aptly named Catbot. OpenAI has an API that can be used called the Chat API. As you can see, from line 35 within the messages array, we provide an object with a role of system and a content string that describes what the bot's aim is. Line 37 is the key to it all, turning the AI into a vet. We then pass a value into the user object on line 41, which we grab from the user input. This will in turn communicate with the bot. As you can see from the GIF, the catbot will show a short loading text, and then automatically scroll to the bottom of the container. Our second example comes from the main part of our product, the symptoms checker. The find diagnosis function determines which disease the cat most likely has. Lines 28 to 31 set default answers based on the cat's information already known before the checker has been started by a user, such as the sex of the cat. After that, we pass in the questions array that was sent to the user and the answers array, which contains an array of answer indexes created by the user, with yes being index 1 and no being index 5 in the screenshot. All of this is then sent to an algorithm to be solved on line 35. The result is shown in the screenshot. You will see all three possibilities along with a disclaimer message explaining that this is based on calculations and that seeking medical help is still very necessary. What is also very necessary is testing. As you can see, we hit 80% overall. It proved, as always, that testing is important, as we found a few issues that would have gone unnoticed otherwise. I will now pass over to our resident vet and the person with the initial idea for Catcare, Lace.
Thank you, Alex. We have faced many challenges in this project, but I'm going to highlight some of them. The first one was to consider how the front end would interact with the back end to retrieve questions, submit answers, and receive diagnosis. We wanted to make it real-time and dynamic, but because of time constraints, we came up with this solution. Use a single GET request to fetch all questions for answering. Upon answering, use a single POST request to send question-answer pairs. Then we call the diagnosis function, store data in a designed table, and return the instance ID to the front end for reference. The other one was to structure the database to enable training the algorithm using user feedback. Our solution was to develop a dedicated table featuring columns such as disease ID, variables ID, and 5 response levels. No, probably not, I don't know, probably yes, and yes. In the future, we want to implement an admin page for vets to log in, develop an algorithm that selects a question based on the user's response. Right now, we are getting the questions randomly. Train our algorithm with user feedback, insert more diseases. Right now, we only have 10 diseases on our database, and suggest home treatments or supplements. Thank you for listening. Does anyone have any questions?
Amazing job, team. Absolutely fantastic. Again, the chat has gone slightly crazy. One thing that has come up a number of times in the chat is your use of AI. And I wondered if anyone could talk to us a little bit more about how that worked within the app.
So I can take that one. So essentially, each disease that we had in the database would have its own answers for each of the questions. And then the responses that we would receive back from the users would be matched to these diseases to find which are most similar and find a probability for each disease happening. And this is done in a similar way to how the Akinator game finds out who you're thinking of in your head, which I think is really clever.
Brilliant, thank you, Harry. And then I suppose the further question is, again, it's sort of building on one of the comments in the chat, which was in the future, would you consider sort of extending this out to kind of more domestic kind of pets? Is that the idea?
Yeah, I can get this one. So yes, the algorithm works for any type of pets. All you need is actually a vet to insert the data about that pet. For example, we can use the same idea for a dog, but I need to insert dog diseases there.
Amazing, thank you. And then a final question. I suspect, Liz, I might be coming back to you for this one, but Tony's question in the chat, how do you know the AI is giving the correct answer?
Okay, I can get this one too. So basically, on our back end, on our database, the AI tries to find your answer, which matches the one that we have on the back end. Like we get your answers and we match with the one on the back end. It's basically how it works.
Nice, thank you. And obviously your previous career and your previous experience gives a helping hand to all of this stuff.
Yes,
as well.
On the back end, I'm telling the AI which one is the correct answer there.
It's just an amazing app. Thank you so much, team. Really, really been a total privilege to watch you build that over a fortnight. Very, very well done. Team Catcare there. We're passing on to our next team now. Our next team have created an app called Travel Mate. And here